I was going to talk about how iconic it is. She gets a little bit of her own dance break moment. It's just really good. Howdy, Meowers.
Howdy. How's it going, everybody? We're here.
How's it going?
You're here. Wait, who are you?
I'm Fable.
Fable. Nice to have you with us today, Fable, and I'm Devin. And today we are talking about comebacks.
We're talking about Aespa. We're talking about I-DLE. And we're talking about IVE.
You heard it right. It's girl power.
We're talking about girl group K-pop comebacks and one Japanese release, which would be IVE's Japanese release today. So,
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Okay.
Sorry, that's the girl power saying of the times. Right?
I guess. So, we're not going to be doing any gaslighting today or gatekeeping.
No. Sorry, I didn't mean. I was just saying the saying.
Right.
I didn't mean to insinuate that those things would be happening.
So we're certainly not gatekeeping. We're gonna jump right into sharing these spicy comebacks, if you will. So we're gonna start with IVE before we, get to before this intro gets too unbearable.
Oh.
Just kidding. Anyway.
Spicy. But not. Wave.
Wave. I've had Wave. They had releases in Japanese before. They had 11, and they had on the B, as a B-side of the 11 Japanese release, they had Queen of Hearts, and then they released Love Dive Japanese version. But this time, Wave is a fresh, new song heard to our ears for the first time in Japanese.
Yes, that is true.
I love it. Big surprise. Everybody's shocked. Wow, another IVE song she loves.
I should have put this disclaimer at the beginning of the episode, maybe, or maybe I should put it at the beginning of every single segment. I would just like to say very quickly that disclaimer, none of the groups we are talking about today are groups that I would consider myself like a fan of, like I'm part of the fandom. So if anyone out there is immediately going to start by thinking, do you even like IVE? Or, insert next group's name. I'll do this at the start of every one of these. The answer is, I don't know. Like, I like some of their songs, and then but I don't, it's like I'm not in the fandom, right?
Right.
I just want to put that as a disclaimer, because sometimes people expect, the people that are talking about something to just be in the fandom, and that's why they're talking about it. But I'm talking about these groups because they came back, not because I'm in the fandom. Just to get the context a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that these are my pretty much first listens or initial reactions to these things, because we're going to be talking about these things as they happen, as they're new, as they come back, right? And things can grow on you over time. Your opinion can change over time, the more you hear something and the more you're exposed to it, the more you see of it. And so these are very fresh opinions and takes that I'm going to be sharing today, because these are fresh songs, fresh content.
Right.
Just a little disclaimer. I really liked Wave as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know maybe it didn't seem like it was leading up to that.
It didn't.
But I figured I'm going to have to put that disclaimer at the beginning of all of the segments, to be consistent and fair,
Mm.
But no, I really liked Wave. I've only heard it the one time. But immediately I did like it. I oftentimes really like Japanese releases, and they're usually either like, you know, upbeat or slow. They're
Yeah,
I
like,
mean, it
you
seems
know,
like those are
like
the only two options,
peaceful
but
kind of like
yeah.
vibe is what Japanese releases are a lot.
Yeah. And so sometimes when they're those slower, peaceful ones that are like very beautiful, sometimes I get a little bored with them. But the boppier ones, I usually always like. Like, so many groups that have had Japanese songs, if I think of that song, I'm like, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I added it to my playlist. Like, they're often big hits with me. This one I liked as well. I did also have a fun little like extra thing that I could say about I think it's Gal's part. Is she the one with like the short hair often?
Yeah.
I don't remember if she had short hair now, but it's one of Gal's parts. Like, I don't know if she's singing, but I know she's on screen. She's dancing or something. The background, it's sort of like, oh, like that sort of thing a little bit. I've only heard it once, please. But it sounds like it could be music, like the soundtrack for Tangled Tower. So if you know the game Tangled Tower, and the part that's very like has that like, I don't want to try and attempt to do like a, you know, willowy like Disney awing right now. So I'm just speaking it that way, but like, if you know the soundtrack, you know, and if you know the part in the song and like the music too, it sounds so much like that.
Well, I was going to talk about Gal's part and how iconic it is. I think like it's, you know, she gets a little bit of her own dance break moment, and it's just really good. And yeah, the kind of noises and background stuff that's going on in that song, I really like. Like, it's kind of like the part in Love Dive, you know, the like ooze and like stuff.
Right, yep.
It's got that same sort of feeling.
Ethereal vibe.
Yeah.
It's the Tangled Tower, it's very ethereal, like sort of vibe of the music.
And then the end of the like, you know, video, that's cool. It's like
Wave
totally
3
different.
Yeah,
Wave 3 rock and roll, totally different vibe all of a sudden, but it's really cool.
Okay, yeah.
Not much to say, but it was good.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about Japanese when groups come back with a Japanese song, is like, a lot of the times I like it and like they have a music video for it and I like it, and then it's like there's nothing else like that we can get out of it. You know, I'm like, I want to see stages of this. I want to be able to have more than one thing to click on if I want to hear this song. Like Breaking Dawn by the Boys, I was always like, please give me something else with this. But until they like maybe do like a concert in Japan, and then you have like some like fan cams or something of them doing a performance of it, you don't usually get to see very much else with those songs.
Yeah, it's really a shame because so many of the Japanese releases are really good.
Yeah.
Aespa came back, finally. It feels like a long time since they've had to come back with their third mini album. And they had lots of videos for this, you know, comeback. They had the main music video for the title, which is, what is it called again? Oh yeah, Spicy, as I mentioned earlier. So that's what that was about, if you weren't aware. And they released a music video. I don't know if they're considering it a pre-release single or not. I don't really think so, because I don't think they're doing it on stages. But they released a video for the song Welcome to My World. And they released track videos for for all of the other songs. And then there was another full-length music video for the last song on their album, Till We Meet Again. But honestly, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Full-length music video. Okay, I would just like to start by having a disclaimer.
No.
If you want to hear maybe a more in-depth version of the disclaimer, you can go back. If you've only skipped forward to this part, you can go back to when I talk about, when I'm starting to talk about IVE. My disclaimer is that all of the groups that I'm talking about today, I am not necessarily a part of their fandom. I'm more of like a casual listener to these groups. And the second disclaimer is that these are very fresh takes because these songs are very new to me. I've maybe only heard some of them once or seen the music video once. And sometimes it takes time for things to grow on you, and sometimes your opinions change. But these are my takes as of like first listens. Thank you.
The same does apply to me in the fact that I often like things later. Like,
yeah.
I often will be like, I didn't give this song enough of a chance. Or sometimes I don't even pay attention to it. Like, sometimes you don't even know. And then later you find out about it. But sometimes you do know and you're just not feeling it, you know?
Yeah.
People's opinions can always change.
Yeah. And it's very different than if the main way that you sort of take in music and like form your opinions about it has been sort of through like radio listening. Like, you pop the radio on in the car. Maybe there's like the overhead speakers in like a store. And so you're hearing these popular songs of the times. Maybe you're seeing them on commercials and stuff. And I think you can probably think of some instances where over time you're like, oh yeah, you know what? When I first heard that song, I didn't even, recognize, like, it was just on the radio and I wasn't really even listening to it. But like now that I've heard it more times, I'm like, it really grows on me. I really like it. Or maybe sometimes at first you're like, I didn't think that song was that bad. But then you keep hearing it and you're like, I actually think this song is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Things like that. But like when we are listening to K-pop, sort of in more of like a pick and choose manner, like it's not just like naturally falling into points of our life where we're like going to be hearing it. We have to choose to click on it and listen to it to give it that chance, and whether we're going to go back. It makes the opinion forming process a little different than maybe like the music that is regularly playing like throughout, radios and stuff of your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. But so Aespa's what did you say that song was called?
Welcome to My World.
Welcome to My World song. I've already forgotten it.
Feet Novice.
Oh right, Feet Novice, of course. I heard it like when it first came out and watched the video, and then I haven't heard it again. So I don't remember it. It was slower, so I didn't really care for it. Like, I can remember that much because I, like I was just saying, don't care for the slower songs sometimes. The concept was interesting. When I talk about the concept, I feel like I would talk more about the overall arching concept of the whole comeback. So okay. I don't know if I would talk about it right now.
I guess I'm not.
Because, like, this is like one facet of it. I feel like I need the other facet,
Yeah. Well, I don't mind that song. I don't know if I always want to play it or something. It's not really that, like, style of song for me. But, like, it's better than I thought it would be for a slower Aespa song. I don't really know what those are like, but it's not like something that bothers me in any way.
Yeah.
It gets stuck in my head. So there's not really anything that I find I'm not super strongly opinionated about it in either direction.
I feel like, it's kind of weird maybe to say that seems a little bit like it was the intent, but like it does seem a little more subdued, like I think the fans of Aespa will be, really liking it, to see something different from them, to maybe like to see something that's kind of like got this beautiful vibe to it or anything like that, but in general I don't feel like it was trying to, really like turn heads, to really like have people's ears be perked up and like, oh, let's latch onto this. Like, it's kind of just like a nice, right? Is it maybe like just like a nice thing to have?
Yeah.
So yeah, if we as casual listeners are not really like super hyped about it, I feel like makes sense.
Yeah. So their title track was Spicy. Literally, that's the name of it. And how did you feel about that?
I'm too spicy for your heart. And I mean that in the personal sense. Personal as in I, but maybe not as in you, as in like the listener, because maybe you don't easily get offended by my takes. But in general, I seem to be too spicy for a lot of people in terms of K-pop. So I'm toning it down a little bit. But so basically what I was saying is that line is relatable. But I thought that this song, just the song, if we take just the song, I really liked the beat. You know, I really liked, like, it's very listenable to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that towards the end, I do sometimes think it gets a little bit repetitive.
I agree.
The I'm too spicy for your heart part. Like, they keep saying it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, the lyrics are a little, I mean, I haven't like read through the lyrics, but you know, the vibe of the lyrics is a little bit much for me, you know. But at the same time, it is a bit relatable. Those spicy takes can be, you know, hard for people to handle. And yeah, no, just generally like the boom, you know, like the whole like that music vibe, I do really like.
Me too.
As for the concept and music video and whatnot, well, I'll say this. So over the first song and this song, they're both very, very different aesthetically, but at the same time fall within the same concept. Do you agree?
I suppose, yeah, I do agree with that.
Like, just the sort of general, like, college age, you know, girls that are, like, friends and hanging out is the first one. They've got, like, minimal makeup looks. I won't say no makeup because I highly doubt that they filmed a music video with no makeup on. It's a music video. I don't want people to be coming at me saying no makeup look. Of course they're wearing makeup, but at the same time, like, it looks like it's supposed to look like they don't have any makeup on, and like their hair is like the hair of normal people, not the hair of idols, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the vibe and aesthetic of the first video. And then the second video, I still am getting the college girls, you know, sort of thing. Well, I mean, it's supposed to look like they're part of a sorority and stuff like that, like, obviously and clearly.
Yeah.
But they're now, like, you know, super like done up for a party vibes. I'd say neither of the aesthetics are really speaking to me that much. But even more than that, the general aesthetic of the American college sorority experience,
right,
I hate.
Yeah. Well, I definitely agree. I'm not my vibe, not my style. You can, you know, hear us talk a little bit about that vibe in one of our other episodes. Episode 3, I think. Yep.
If you have listened to stuff before, this wouldn't be surprising to you that we don't really like this, like, party vibe, right?
Right.
But at least, you know, they seem to be college age people.
Yep.
So it's for me, it's less of like a, it's just at this point, it's personal. Like, I just don't like that aesthetic. You know, I don't like that vibe. It's not like, oh, they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a little bit like, we could get into it with like many other music videos as well. Literally like one that we're going to be talking about later. So maybe I shouldn't bring it up now, but I will anyway. This continuous trend of America in these concepts is really, really starting to bother me. Like, the reason that I don't consume like American, you know, music content, or like even like TV show content and stuff, you know, like American teen movie, that vibe, is because I don't like the vibes. So I don't want to see them. Like, when I went to K-pop, you know, for something fresh and something different and something to cleanse my eyes. So I just personally don't like that concept. So for them to just be like, everyone's just doing that. Like every idol group in their music video is like quote unquote in America, you know, like those are the vibes you get. I'm like, please stop it. I don't want that here.
It's very trendy right now to have
Extreme
that vibe. Like whether it's party vibe, whether it's college vibe, whether it's general youth in literal American streets.
Yeah.
Like they've got the vibe of that everywhere now.
Everywhere. And I just personally like would prefer less of that.
It's just not our style.
Yeah. So, for those reasons, I had to chop you. No. So yeah, that's just my sort of like, it's like, okay, Aespa, I see you and I hear you with the music vibes, but like you're losing me with the concept. But at the same time, I think I maybe started to say this, but I didn't finish. I'm not sure. I do sort of applaud them in some ways for having such a strong concept.
Yeah.
Throughout that first song, this song, and their 2 other songs they did on stage are all very fitting with the same concept.
Yeah.
And it's a concept that I technically would say I haven't seen before in terms of styling for a K-pop group. I haven't really seen a K-pop group that is like, you know, consistently on stage styling with this like college party vibe. A lot of people I feel like, well, I don't know if I'd say a lot, but I think I saw, you know, like trendy meme, you know, clip whatever sort of thing of people making fun of or like judging Aespa styling for their stage, say like, oh, the stylist didn't show up today or something, because I guess they thought their outfits were too like casual and or bad looking.
Okay.
But I'm like, I just feel like they're very intentionally that style. Like I think they did a great job at making those literally look like how at least, you know, American not American college students in any capacity, but like, you know, American college students from a movie would be styled and dressing. So I know most college kids just wear normal clothes. But like the vibes of like American college girls, you know, like I feel like are very strong with their styling on the stage, even though it's like can be more casual sometimes.
Okay. Well, about the actual song, I already said I don't care for the vibes of the music video. Although it could be worse, you know, like they could have taken have taken that vibe and actually made it like a movie even more. Like, and
they were still respectable people, you know, in the music video, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're getting at?
So, but about the actual song, I like it. I was like, it was good to kind of sound closer to Next Level rather than Girls. And Girls I didn't like. I just personally, that one was not it for me. And, you know, there are other like Illusion, the side ones that they would keep doing at the festivals and stuff like that. Just, I found them very boring, and they didn't have like any, like I don't have any reason to want to listen to those ones.
Yeah.
But this one is listenable, and I like it, and I like the start of it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But as you said, it gets a little repetitive at the end. But I think that it reminds me very much like right when it started and I saw them like, you know, walking out and then the music is starting how it does. I was like, wow, Britney Spears. So I don't know, like, I don't know if you thought that, but I definitely got Britney vibes.
Well, I'd say like another really big trend that's happening right now is like early 2000s.
Oh yeah, Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K. But not like the cute Y2K. Like was there like a Y2K sort of thing, but it was more of the like or maybe that's not Y2K. No, I think it is. With like bubble chairs and, you know, like that sort of
I feel like they're
Y2K.
I feel like it is kind of shifting away from that, but it was. Well, I mean, some groups are still going with that vibe, you know, with the backpacks. There's a lot of backpacks lately, so that's kind of the cuter side of the Y2K styling. But they had the Life's Too Short music video, you know, that was more the bubble chair vibe. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, like was it a pink room, like a pink bedroom or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember it vaguely. Yeah.
Another song they had was Salty and Sweet. This was one of the ones that they had a track video for, but they also did it on music show stages. That one, I don't mind. I think it's good, like, overall. It's a little bit live, like on the stages, but overall I don't have a problem with it.
I tried to like re-listen to a little bit more of it just before we started talking about these songs today so that I could remember it a little bit better, but it didn't really stick with me. I've only heard it the one time. All I really know is that like it was continuing on their general concept, and so I was like, okay, yes, I understand, this is your concept this time, Aespa. Like, you know, they're all very cohesive songs that are going together, but yeah, I don't really remember it. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to elaborate, but I do, when I was watching one, I don't know if they've only done it once on a music show, but on the one that I saw, although I said I liked it overall, like, and I like Miss A, like their music, but I got Miss A vibes from that particular performance.
Okay. I mean, you said you're not going to elaborate then. Okay.
So another track that they had was Thirsty, and that one I'm just going to say that I don't like, but it's not unlistenable. I really don't care for the vibe of it overall, so I wouldn't prefer to listen to it. And like I don't really like the lyrics. So that one, if there was like one that I just wouldn't listen to on that album, it would be that.
Yeah, now this is going to be like flowing into like the next group stuff that we talk about. I feel like they have a similar attitude maybe about them a little bit. That I just don't, yeah, as well as you're saying, I just don't like really care for or like. It's just not my style, and so I didn't like that one. Yeah, I didn't like, you know, read the full lyrics or anything, but I didn't really like the lyrics, and I didn't like the vibe or the attitude about it really. But like once again, yeah, it could have been worse. Like they weren't doing a bad job or anything. And this is the one when I saw it that I was like, wow, their outfits, like I've never seen people wear outfits like this for a stage performance before, and they're very, very like college girl vibes. Like the long denim skirt.
Oh, okay, yeah,
like,
so I watched that.
like the turtleneck with like the other like shirt like over layered over top of it and stuff. I'm like, this is not like I've never seen someone wearing these things for a stage performance before, but like it perfectly fit the aesthetic. And also they're very like early 2000s styles of pieces that are all of a sudden just boom all over the place.
Yeah,
because like for a while, you know, I felt like, oh, okay, they're bringing back some of like the older fashion that is maybe like 90s 2000s. Because you know K-pop had its like retro era that was doing like 70s 80s,
yeah,
and then it was like creeping into like the 90s early 2000s, but now I feel like I'm getting hit in the face with it. I'm like, these outfits are so of that era.
I mean, remember how the whole theme for one of the Gaio festivals was Y2K?
Oh yeah, but see, when it was Y2K, like I didn't feel it as much, you know. I guess I did a little with like what was her name from ITZY? Why can't I think of her name? Yuna, her cover song that she did.
Oh,
that everyone was
yeah.
freaking out about. Like that was very, you know, Y2K aesthetically. But some people were like trying a little bit to make their non Y2K song like have a Y2K aesthetic, and I was like, okay, I get it a little bit, but like now I feel like I'm really getting it. Like they went like fully to Y2K styling. They didn't just like take a piece of Y2K clothing.
Their other two songs were I'm Unhappy and Till We Meet Again. I'm Unhappy, I don't have any problems with. And Till We Meet Again, I don't really have any problems with the song, but the music video, this is the one I talked about. It's not technically a track video. Like, I don't think so because it lasts the entire song. The track videos are only part of the song. But this one has its whole time, I'm pretty sure, but it's literally the same thing. I thought something was going to happen. I thought, anything, one change of scenery, like, but no. So I just thought it was kind of irrelevant, but maybe it's got some sort of message that I missed. I really don't know.
I've seen / heard of videos being like that before for songs, but it was more so in a sense of like the song, like it's nice to like have a visual element for the song when there's like no other like way to have one, or no other like it's not like the type of person, it's the type of person that releases music but not the type of person that would make music videos. And so they want like a video to be released and have a visual element. But for a group to do that for like kind of, it does seem kind of like no reason. It's like, why didn't you just make a music video, or just do like a lyric video, or just let the audio be released? Like, what is the point of it? Like, I see the point of it in other circumstances, but not really with an idol group, I feel like.
Like I thought maybe, I think it was winter, standing on the rocks or something, looking at the sun. I've only seen it once because I don't think I have any reason to go to it again. But I thought she was maybe even gonna just step down at the end, or move. I don't even know if it was like a
looping video.
Yeah, I think it probably was, because why would they make her stand there for over 3 minutes? But like, I don't know. I was vibing with it at first. I was like, oh, okay, like interesting, but nothing happened.
I didn't hear those two songs, so I can't give any input on them.
Well, that means that we should probably move on to I-DLE. I-DLE released their 6th mini album, I Feel, and their title track was just released, Queencard, but they did have a pre-release, which was Allergy, and so there was a video for that as well.
Now, if you heard last week's episode, or maybe if you've heard me right now, I'm not sure, or if you've really listened to any other stuff from me, you maybe know I am allergies. I live and breathe them. They are my life. So you would think I would find this very relatable. I did not read the lyrics, so I don't know. Oh, wait, I need to give my disclaimer first. Disclaimer. If you want a more in-depth disclaimer, you can go to the first part of this video where I start to talk about IVE. But I want to say that all the groups that I'm talking about today, I am not necessarily part of the fandoms. I am a casual listener of these groups, and I will be talking about their songs in a more first impression, first listen style. Sometimes things grow on you over time. Sometimes your opinions change, okay? This is just my opinion on their first listen as a casual listener, not as someone part of the fandom. Thank you.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, I've only heard it and watched the video once, and I did not read the lyrics because, I'm not that deeply, entrenched in IDLE, right? So like, I'm not gonna go that far, probably casually. But so like, I don't really know, like I kind of get the vibe of Allergy, but not really. I don't really even fully get the vibe of why it's called Allergy because I didn't read it, but it's fine. You don't need to explain it to me in the comments. If I want to know more, I can just read myself, and I'm sure I will understand. I'm pretty smart of a person.
I can do some explaining.
Okay. This is not a situation where I was like, I didn't get it. Like, I just didn't understand. No, like, I didn't look into getting it because, like, I didn't care to try to understand that far, because it's a casual thing, okay? So, yeah, I didn't like I don't fully know the backstory behind it and the meaning, but I could get meaning enough from the video. And that concept to me, ever since I ever first was seeing that sort of content of like, I feel like it's very geared towards, teen outcast, feeling like you want to fit in, feeling like you want to be like the other girls, you want to be prettier, you want to feel more grown up, those sorts of things, right? I've never really related to that concept. So to me, it was just sort of like, it felt a little bit, dare I say, juvenile to me. Like, I feel like that is the point. Okay. That is the intent, to sort of feel like it's geared towards teens, and empowering the youth a little bit, maybe. Or if it's not that, I feel like it's maybe like, we're grown up now, but we're remembering, when we felt this way. Okay. A little bit, maybe. I don't know. It seemed a little bit that way to me, of like this isn't really for me.
Okay, yeah.
So, and then also, it had vibes of like being in America, I feel like. So we already know how I felt about that. But yeah, I just generally, like, I don't relate to the concept. So what else can I really say,
Yeah. I feel like I kind of will end up blending Allergy and Queencard together, like when I'm talking about them. So, but I don't exactly want to talk about Queencard yet. But I do, like, I get what you're saying with the American vibe again. Like, I feel like it is, you were saying earlier, Aespa, their vibe was similar to I-DLE's vibe this time around.
Yeah. Because
I guess that's just the trend right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like I-DLE is pushing in a very, like, Mamamoo direction with their messages and stuff about, like, empowerment and confidence and whatnot.
Gender norms, like gender stereotypes, or like what is to be expected.
Yeah.
Of like how you present yourself, really.
Yeah. So Allergy, I guess that I don't have that much to say because, again, these are all very new.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have only had so much time to consume these things, but I will say right now that I like Allergy less than Queencard, but although, like, they're very similar videos, like, they go together. Yeah, they're meant to be watched.
It's kind of like part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, like, I think they're, like, they call them episodes or whatever. So I don't hate it. I don't. And even though I said that vibe is, like, not for me, it's just, I would rather have an IVE style aesthetic than this aesthetic. But I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And, like, it's obvious what they're doing. Like, I get where they're going with it. The concept is strong and the message is clear. I mean, I know you said you didn't really get the whole Allergy thing, but overall the concept is easy to get, So I like what they're doing, but the song itself, I don't really, I probably won't listen to it very often. It's a bit of a, like, my bag.
Oh.
But like I'm going to say this about Queencard too, though. So just, like, don't mind that I'm going to be saying it again. But they're very similar in vibe, so I can't help it. But I think that there's a lot of English lyrics that I don't really vibe with. I'm just saying a lot about vibes and style.
I say that a lot.
But, I think it's, like, kind of just not getting there for me. I don't know how to put it. I'm not like, oh, this shouldn't have even been like included. They shouldn't have had this message if it's gonna be so like, if the lyrics are gonna be like that. But you know, I can't explain myself. I don't know what I'm saying. I maybe somebody will understand. Like the tomboy rap. I don't like that. I don't like those, like, it just seems like a bunch of stuff mashed together to me.
No, I get what you're saying, and like, yeah, I would say something a little bit more like strongly or concretely once we start talking about Queencard. That's kind of in the similar veins. But you kind of did remind me, or like, I guess make me notice another little thing, is that I would say that because we brought up like, oh, you know, rather have like an IVE concept or like something else concept than this concept, like it's not for us. But at the same time, it's kind of like I was applauding Aespa for their college styling that we hadn't seen before, even though it wasn't really what I liked. The same with I-DLE. They are doing something like, even though we said that this concept is so similar to Aespa visually, but I'm talking about the concept of the music and everything, and we kind of said it was like Mamamoo, but Mamamoo is a little bit more aggressive, I think. Well, I say that without knowing any of Mamamoo's stuff. I'm definitely not knowledgeable on Mamamoo's discography, so I wouldn't, you know, please, that's coming from someone that is like seeing them like off to the side, you know, not looking at them directly. But Mamamoo's message sort of seems like, you know, woman empowerment in like the forward marching position, whereas I-DLE is doing this in sort of like a quietly, like trying to like, you know, comfortingly push their message across. If that is accurate.
Maybe I don't know.
Like Tomboy wasn't that
yeah,
way.
like
but like this one is like it's not they always, because Tomboy wasn't, if I think about it. Tomboy wasn't. But these two songs seem a little bit more like they're speaking to the girl or woman, and they're being like comforting or empowering rather than an outward speaking to society. It's like it's a message to society, but it's like they're not speaking to society. They're trying to like speak to like the individual.
It's more individual.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Whereas like, you know, yeah, Tomboy and Nude were both more like,
yes, those ones were speaking to society.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just gonna say, like, so I know Mamamoo has done that sort of message, and I know that Aespa has done that sort of visual aesthetic recently. But I-DLE as a whole doing these things is a very different thing than you see from most K-pop girl groups. That's all I was trying to say. It's like they're doing a very unique thing in terms of like the other girl groups don't go this route.
Yeah.
So I can say, you know what? Good for them. Like, it's not my concept really, because it's not super relatable for me. But it is for some people, and it's probably doing good for those people and stuff, and so like, you know, go for it is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah. And you know, Ray mentioned how I said I'd rather like, I prefer the IVE aesthetic, and so people might be thinking, well, why don't you just go spend all your time watching IVE if this isn't your preferred aesthetic? I do like it. Like, I like I-DLE. Like, I'm liking the messages, you know.
It's just not your favorite.
Right. I was just making a, you know, statement about my preference in aesthetic.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm always going to be saying that like dark, edgy, like, you know, punchy aesthetic is my favorite. So any other aesthetic, I'm probably going to be like, well, you know, it's not my top aesthetic, but I thought this way about it, you know. I gave it like an 8 out of 10, that sort of thing. So
yeah. I'm not saying they shouldn't have come back with this style. because I like what they're doing because, like you said, it's unique and not many other groups are doing that style right now.
Right, yeah.
So, anyway, I guess that's like, we should probably move on to Queencard. So Queencard, like we said, is the title track. So this is what they're going to be really promoting. I don't know if they'll do Allergy on music show stages. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it at least like a couple times. But Queencard, how do you feel?
Let's get it right out of the way, right from the start. Very American club or American street vibes, right?
Right.
Like, that's just a given. They did that, you know? And so therefore was not a fan of that vibe. I would go and watch a dance genre movie from the early 2000s if I wanted that. As for the lyrics, we already were kind of mentioning it or going along this path a little bit with Allergy. But yeah, so I'd say even more so, like the lyrics that I could understand in English. For instance, pardon my language, twerking on the runway, is just not something that in general I vibe with. Like, it's not, to me personally, like I know that those sorts of lines to some people, they'd be like, yes, like, you know, you go, you say that, you know, like you serve and stuff like that. But when I hear those lines, I don't feel that way personally. So I just really don't relate to the energy lyrically.
Okay. Yeah.
From the lyrics that I could understand. As for the beat of the song, I did like it. So once again, just like with Aespa Spicy, this Queencard one, beat-wise, I liked it. You know, if I couldn't understand any of what they were saying, not that bad. That's another reason that I kind of never really found music that was in English that I really liked that much, because to me, I actually don't really like being able to understand the lyrics of songs. I judge them too harshly, I think. When I understand the lyrics, I end up thinking they're dumb and stuff like that. Like, so the less I understand, the more likely I am to like songs, I think, because for me, beat ends up being like the thing I focus on the most, I think, now that I think about it. So yeah, the beat I really did like. The last point I have to make about Queencard is the fashion. Once again, extremely early 2000s. And I would just say some of the pieces I absolutely love. Like, I watched the performance video and Minnie's jeans, love them. Absolutely here for it. But overall, in general, of just adopting the Y2K fashion and doing it unapologetically, I'm a little bit like, oh, guys, you know, it's kind of tacky though sometimes. So that's all. Like, I liked it, but I didn't like it at the same time, because like it is, some of the pieces are a bit tacky, but some of the other pieces I'm like, I love them. So, but yeah, I guess that's all.
My thoughts on Queencard are similar to what I said for Allergy. However, I like Queencard a lot more, and I really like the dance as well, which is kind of surprising maybe, because like I said, I was going to bring it back to My Bag. I know a lot of people really love My Bag by I-DLE, and I didn't care for that one very much, and they have kind of similar vibe. Like, they're bringing back that vibe and even style of dance with Queencard. But I think it's like the better version, personally. I like, you know, I like it. I think it's catchy. And, like, the moves are kind of, you know, a little out there for K-pop, maybe. But, you know, it works.
I can't believe that I watched the music video and the performance video, like, you know, within the day, and I've already forgotten. But I should have said that I too like Queencard more than Allergy. Like, I think I could listen to Queencard more, but like Allergy, like I would pass on it probably.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, I don't remember the dance, but at the same time, I don't think that I didn't like the dance. So there's that.
I think that the part, like the main, well, the chorus, I guess, you know, that particular, they do this one particular move, and I think that's very catchy. If a dance move, like, for that dance, I think it's catchy.
I think I was too busy looking at their clothes.
I like never pay attention to the clothes really, unless there's like something really out there. I don't know, just I didn't pay attention to the clothes with this for some reason. But, or well, I guess I paid attention, but nothing was really standout.
Not Minnie's jeans in the performance video.
Could not tell you what they looked like at all.
They're like the patchwork type, but like not patchwork. They're iconic.
Well, I really love this a specific part in the music video, and that part is Mion's part near the end when she like becomes the plastic surgeon all of a sudden, kind of like looking down at the camera, and she's like, I am a Queencard, you want to be the Queencard? But it's so like, it looks like a video game. Like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
I just think that part is really cool.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I believe it.
And yeah, but like I was saying with Allergy, there's a lot of English parts that seem like pieced together. Like Yuchi's rap, I don't like right now. I guess it's probably better than the Tomboy in terms of lyrics, because I guess it does, like, it makes sense, but I just, like, you know, I just think it's a little bit, like, I feel like you said something earlier that would be the adjective I'm looking for.
Juvenile?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't remember the rap, but I did say that earlier.
Like, the whole Kim Kardashian, Ariana Grande thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like when they do that. Like, you know, Frumis has the whole Ariana Grande thing, but at least that was a little bit more like they were making it rhyme with something in Korean, so they had to do what they had to do, I guess. But, you know, I just not what I prefer. But they keep doing that lately. Tomboy, Allergy, Queencard. So that's something that I don't really like about it. But overall, I like Queencard. I'll listen to it. I am really hoping that boy groups don't cover it and like try to change. I mean, they can cover it, but like they like I just feel like, you know, they're gonna do the whole tomboy thing and change the lyrics and be like King Card or something, because stuff like that has happened before, and just that's totally like the point is going like so far from what it is if they do something like that it's just gonna be really, you know, like, really, you had to cover Queencard, but you're gonna change it up that much?
Yeah, like when they covered Tomboy on, well, basically every time I've seen people cover Tomboy, they still say Tomboy. So, you know, whereas like when Pentagon covered Lovesick Girls, they said Lovesick Boys, because that's like kind of can go either way, you know?
Yeah.
But like Tomboy is like, you can't... It's tomboy, like you have to keep that phrase, like that's how it works. Queencard, you can't call it a king card. That would be like,
yeah, but like in tomboy they would like change the other parts.
Why are you cranky girl?
Yeah, and like this is kingdom, right?
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, see, that's a little weird because like the queen concept and aspect is like the message of the song.
Yeah,
to change it to king is sacrilegious, isn't the right word. But you know, like, yeah, like it's, you're taking away the point of the song.
Yeah.
And so honestly,
So, like,
at the
I
same time,
feel
it's a
so
little
many
weird
people
for boy groups to cover it because it's supposed to be about like women empowerment, don't you think?
Yeah, but so
like,
many boy groups like to cover idol songs.
Yeah, and if they cover it casually and just keep the lyrics the same, I feel like that's probably the best way for them to do that.
Yeah.
Changing queen to king, I think it's getting a little messy there.
I personally never really understand why people change lyrics when they cover a song unless they're really, really trying to like put on a performance of it and make it seem like taking it a new direction in one way or another, other than just, like if they're trying to not just cover it, but most of the time they're just doing a cover, but they change the lyrics. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I feel like if it's just like a fun, like we're doing a cover, we dance it, it's like for one time thing.
Yeah.
Like in those circumstances, I would say just probably keep the lyrics the way that they are. You don't have to like switch them or
like
whatever.
If it comes on the radio and you're singing along to it, are you gonna like sing along and change the lyrics?
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, if they were like covering it in the sense of like we're doing our version of this song, like it's not like it's their song all of a sudden, but if it's more of a cover like that, like it's like I am doing this song and less of like it's a cover, then
that's a little more I get it at least.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, those were the two main like songs, but they had B-sides because like we said, it was the 6th mini album that they released. So I'll quickly go through some of those, not getting into any sort of detail about them at all. I've barely had time to hear them all. They were just released. But I will say Lucid is a song that Minnie worked on. So, whether the members did the composing or the lyrics or whatever, I'm just going to say like, oh, Minnie song, Yuchi song, whatever. So this was a Minnie song and I think it's really good. Then there was a track called All Night and this was a Yuchi song. I will say I had no idea that Wooseok from Pentagon was involved on tracks for this album.
What the heck?
But it says lyrics by Wooseok on the track list, and I'm going to start calling him Roni because it feels weird to use his real name. Sorry, but it does. Pentagon official accounts, I follow them all. I don't know if I just completely missed it, but I'm assuming since it's Cube and since it's Pentagon, I didn't miss anything, and they just completely didn't bother saying he was involved on them at all. It doesn't even say in the track list Wooseok of Pentagon. It just says his name in Korean, and so
it's a different Wooseok.
Like, literally, I was shocked when I re-looked at that track list after these songs came out and saw his name there. But the actual song, I really like that one because it feels like summer in a very non-obvious way that I can't really explain. I have a lot of trouble explaining myself in this episode. But it feels like a really good summer song without sounding like a summer song. Okay. If that makes any sense.
I haven't heard it, so I can't relate. But I believe you.
Thanks. The Paradise is pretty. It's another mini song. Definitely sounds like a mini song. This one feels like summer too, but it's kind of, more obvious. Chill and more obvious. But the last track is Peter Pan, another Yuchi song, also composed by Roni.
Oh, what the heck?
Like, literally, he composed on this track, and I heard nothing about it. No mention from Cube, as far as I'm aware. Maybe they mentioned it at the bottom of an article about Idol's album that was coming out soon, and so I didn't see it. I don't know, but goes to show how little Cube cares about promoting the Pentagon members.
Disappointed but not surprised.
Yeah. So everybody stan Pentagon, support Roni's tracks that he worked on for I-DLE, and thank you. So this definitely sounds like if Roni and Yuchi wrote a song. It's giving like Pentagon nostalgia meets I-DLE, maybe Polaroid, which is a song that she made. Like, I don't know. Definitely sounds like those two people worked on it. So that's pretty cool. And that's it. That's the end of the album. We've talked about IVE. We've talked about Aespa. We've talked about I-DLE. IVE might seem a little like not fitting because of how similar Aespa and I-DLE's concepts were, and the things we had to say about them were pretty similar, but I had to talk about IVE's release because it was really good.
Yeah, and so let us know by leaving a comment below which of these comebacks or, new song releases was your favorite.
Yeah. And also, you can follow our Twitter and Instagram accounts, and you can follow the BlushCat account on Spotify, which you can find the link in our description to that. You can also now listen to the Meowtro Mix playlist on Spotify. So that's some fun news for you Meowers. If you want to hear all of the songs that I meow to at the end of each episode, I have compiled all of them into a playlist for you. Not me meowing, the actual K-pop song.
You might want to be a little bit careful. While this is still in the early stages, Spotify might try to throw in some other songs into the mix that are not part of the playlist, because the playlist is short at this point. If you have premium, it probably won't.
Yeah.
But if you don't have premium, it might be putting other songs in there too. Some of those aren't Meowtros, just don't get confused.
Yeah.
You can see which ones Spotify added and which ones we have added. So just until the playlist gets a little bit bigger, Spotify might try to get you to listen to some things that we are not intending to be there.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye out.
So those, that playlist will be added to each time there's a new episode of the podcast. So I'll be adding all the Meowtro songs into that playlist for you. And once again, the link to our Spotify page in general is in the description, and then you can find the playlist from there.
And you can subscribe to the BlushCat channel and turn on the notifications. If you liked the video, please hit the like button.
So that's it.
Thank you so much for watching. Listening.
Or watching if you're on YouTube or Spotify.
Yeah.
This has been Fable.
And me. Bye.
Meow 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 meow.